Hello friends, welcome to another fascinating video of Wisdom Zone, and this is Shubro, and I'm quite sure you have already guessed it because today I have the second part of useful idioms for spoken English, and today also I am going to discuss some interesting idioms which you can use in your day-to-day conversation, and you can use these idioms for any competitive examination also because I am going to cover all the important idioms today. So it's my earnest request, if you haven't subscribed to Wisdom Zone yet, please do not wait and subscribe to Wisdom Zone and continue watching this video carefully because these idioms are going to help you immensely to give you a new dimension to your communication. Right? So without further ado, let's get started. So friends, before we just move on, let me quickly remind you that the link of the first part useful idioms for spoken English is given in the description. I have also given some more links on important idioms. You will find 3-4 more links that is related to some important idioms. So please do not to check all those videos, and it's going to help you immensely. And it is my earnest request to all the new viewers, especially, right? So without further ado, let's quickly go ahead and let's quickly see what is an idiom. As you see on your screen, let me quickly just discuss what is an idiom. As you see on your screen, an idiom is a group of words used in a fixed order which has a particular meaning that is totally different from the meanings of each word on its own. Okay, and we always use idioms in such a manner so that it can convey a special meaning, because there is always a hidden meaning in that. Okay, if you know that meaning, then only you'll be able to use that, right? So as you see on your screen, there are two examples. As you see on your screen, the first example is, it's not rocket science. Yes, this idiom means that something that is not difficult to understand or do. So if you know the meaning of this idiom, then only you'll be able to use this. It's not rocket science, right? So up next, you see the next idiom, next example, that is to rain cats and dogs, which is quite useful. To rain cats and dogs means to rain heavily, right? So if you know the meaning of this idiom, then only you'll be able to use, because there is always a hidden meaning, isn't that? So without further ado, let's quickly jump into today's discussion, where I'm going to discuss 10 more useful and chosen idioms for everyday English conversation, which you can use in your conversation as well as when you are going to appear for some competitive examination. There also these idioms can come handy, right? So let's go ahead and see the first idiom for today. As you see on your screen, the first useful idiom for today is called a spade, a spade. Okay, so let me again read it out. The first idiom for today is called a spade, a spade. It is very interesting. This idiom means to tell the truth about something, even if it is not very polite. Okay, so it means that you want to just tell the truth about something, even though it is quite hard. So still you disclose that. Understood? And it is quite useful in your everyday conversation, and also it can also come in competitive examination. So let's see how to use this idiom. As you see the example on your screen, Kevin is quite popular in his office because he always calls a spade a spade. Okay, that means he always discloses the truth, he tells the truth. Okay, that's why he's popular. He calls a spade means he always tells the truth. Okay, and he does not hide the reality. Okay, so up next we are going to see the second idiom for today. As you see, the second interesting idiom for today is in a tight corner. Okay, so in a tight corner is also very useful idiom, and it means to be in a difficult situation. Okay, so let's see how to use this. Patrick is in a tight corner as he got laid off last month. That means he is in a difficult situation, as because he was laid off, he was terminated perhaps from his company. So that's why he is in a difficult situation. Okay, so that's the way you can use this idiom. It means to be in a difficult situation, right? So up next we are going to turn our attention towards a third interesting idiom for today, that is
By hook or by crook?
which is quite useful, isn't that? It sounds Also quite interesting. By hook or crook, you must have heard of it, but maybe you don't know how to use it. So let me first explain the meaning. The meaning of this idiom is by fair or any other possible means. Okay, to do something by fair way or any other possible means, maybe some unfair way, also unfair practice. By hook or crook means that to do something in some fair way, by fair way, or any other unfair or possible means, right? So let's see how to use this. As you see on your screen, some people want to get success by hook or by crook. That means in any way they want to get success, maybe ethically or doing things in a fair manner or doing things unfairly. Okay, so that's the meaning of this particular sentence. So I hope it's clear. Okay, so you can use this in your everyday conversation, and also it may also come in some competitive examination. They ask the meaning of this idiom, right? So I hope it's clear. So let us turn our attention towards the fourth idiom for today, that is on your screen, that is at a snail's pace. Okay, at a snail's pace. You must be wondering what's the meaning. I'm quite sure you have seen a snail. So it is symbolically used to signify that something which is extremely slow, okay, or something that goes on extremely slowly, as you see on the meaning, extremely slowly, or something which is extremely slow. Okay, so let's see the example. As you see on your screen, the opening match of 2020 football world cup was rather boring as it was going at a snail's pace. Okay, that means it was not very interesting. It was quite tedious because it was not very fast. The game was going in a very slow pace. Okay, that's the way you put this idiom. Something, when you see something is going slow, you can say that it's going at a snail's pace. Okay, that means to go extremely slow. That is to go at a snail's pace. Okay, I hope you have seen a snail move. It moves so slowly, right? So it means to go slow. So up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the fifth idiom for today. As you see on your screen, the fifth idiom is read between the lines. Isn't that quite interesting? Yes. So read between the lines. Let me explain the meaning first. It means to understand the hidden meaning which is not obvious or which is not said. Okay. So that's the meaning of this idiom. Read between the lines. That means to understand or interpret the hidden meaning which is not disclosed, which is not said clearly. Okay. So let's see how to use this idiom. As you see on your screen, this example, reading between the lines, it seems that no one is happy with the present global economic condition. So that means maybe people are not discussing this matter, but reading between the lines, it seems that no one is happy, okay, with the present global economic condition. Yeah, we see some sort of issues, economic crisis, post-pandemic, right? So obviously people are not happy. Maybe they are not verbal about it, okay, but reading between the line, that means you can understand it. Understood? So that's the way you put it. Read between the lines. That means to understand the hidden meaning of something which is not discussed or said, right? So up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the sixth idiom for today, which is quite fascinating. As you see on your screen, the sixth idiom is black and blue. Okay, black and blue is a very interesting idiom. Yeah, it means badly bruised. Okay, we see that after injury, the bruises are there. So black and blue means badly bruised. Simple. Okay, so it can be very handy. So let's see how to use it. Tom's left arm turned black and blue because of last night's injury. Obviously, because of injury, you can have bruises. So instead of saying that he has bruises, he can say that his hand turned black and blue because of last night's injury. Okay, black and blue means to have bruises. Okay. So I'm quite sure you have understood how to put this interesting idiom in your conversation. Okay. So up next, we're going to turn our attention towards the seventh idiom for today. That is on your screen. Let me read it out. It is two peas in a pod. Two peas in a pod is also a fascinating idiom. It means to be very similar in terms of appearance as well as character. Okay. When someone resembles other person in terms of appearance, especially you can talk about twins, they obviously have similarity in their appearance, and it can be also related to character. Someone has some similarity or resemblance in terms of character also, we can use that they are two peas in a pod. Let's see how to use this in a sentence. As you see on your screen, the example, Sam and Kevin are identical twins. One can't tell the difference between them. They are like two peas in a pod. That means they are quite identical, as he already mentioned. That means in appearance wise they look similar. Okay, so that's the way to put it. So it can be similarity in terms of appearance, or it can be similarity in terms of character also. Okay, up next we are going to turn our attention towards the eighth idiom for today, which is on your screen. The eighth idiom for today is a thorn in the flesh or side. So both can be said, a thorn in the flesh, or we can say side also. Let's see the meaning of this. This idiom means a constant source of annoyance. Okay, a thorn in the flesh or side means a constant source of annoyance. That means someone who is annoying you. Okay, so creating disturbance or annoying. So let's see how to use it. It is quite easy to use once you know the meaning. As you see on your screen, the example is given. One of my colleagues is a real thorn in my flesh during the office hours. That means he is obviously a person who creates an inconvenience, or he annoys others. Maybe he annoys me, so that's why I'm saying he's a thorn in my flesh. Okay, so you can also say thorn in my side or thorn in my flesh, both are used. Okay, up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the ninth idiom for today, which is on your screen. That is, wash your hands of something, which is a very useful idiom. Okay, it's a classic idiom to use, and it sounds quite interesting, isn't that? So let me explain the meaning. Wash your hands of something means when you refuse to be involved with anything anymore, or to take any more responsibility of something. To refuse to be involved with someone or something, or to take responsibility of anything. Okay, so let's see how to put it in a sentence. As you see on your screen, it seems bureaucrats have washed their hands of the economic crisis. That means they are not ready to take responsibility of the situation. Okay, they are not ready to get involved in the situation of economic crisis. They have washed their hands. That means they have somehow refused to get involved in this situation. Okay, so I hope it's crystal clear. So up next, we are going to turn our attention towards the 10th idiom and the last idiom for today, that is, call it a day. Okay, so call it a day means agree to stop doing something. When you agree to stop to do something, is called to call it a day. So stop doing something is called call it a day. Okay, and when you agree to stop something and call it a day. Okay, so let's see how to use it. Robin decided to call it a day after digging non-stop for 6 hours. That means he decided to stop his work, stop doing that activity. That is to call it a day. So it's quite handy. You can say that after working for 5 hours, I decided to call it a day because I was exhausted. So like this way, you can use this interesting idiom in your everyday conversation. And all these idioms can also come in any competitive examination. They may ask you the meaning, okay, or ask you to make a sentence. So people who are going to appear for a competitive examination, you should also follow this video and try to use these idioms and rehearse. So I hope you found this video extremely helpful, and let me again remind you, I'm going to come up with other parts also. And let me again request you, if you haven't subscribed to Wisdom Zone, please do not forget and subscribe to Wisdom Zone and hit the bell icon and continue following all the videos and this series also from Wisdom Zone, because I'm going to come up with more informative videos in the coming days, right? So stay tuned.